Zombies. Yeah! A decade ago, they were all the rage in gaming. Call of Duty, Plants vs. Zombies, RE4 and 5, Dead Rising, Left 4 Dead, Dead Space. So many dead games. But amongst the horde of zombie games came something unexpected.
Whoa! You dumb freak! Get rid of him, would you?
Why?
Well, because we're old friends.
No. Relax now. Nearly there. What the hell is wrong with you? Let's go.
I'm going to wander down that lonely, deserted street and get my bag.
Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Rated M for mature.
Why, of all games, would Red Dead Redemption be the one to have a zombie-themed expansion? Well, for the same reasons the original game stood out. There's nothing else like it. Cowboys and zombies? What's next, cowboys and aliens? Shame they didn't bring this back for Red Dead 2. Released just 5 short months after Red Dead Redemption on October 26, 2010, the first and only expansion for this masterpiece hit the shelves. Many have called Undead Nightmare one of the best expansions ever made, a prime example of DLC and how it should be handled. It's hard to argue against that when something of this quality is sold for just 10 buckaroonies. That's less than it cost to take John Marston to the hospital.
It cost us $15.
Should have left me there to die.
Now don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the Act-Man U2's figurine is still on sale. Yes! But only for a limited time. I have to buy one and I got to buy. I'll be donating all of my profits to charity because, honestly, I just want people to have something like this, like some kind of memorabilia in case I die. All my profits will go to the Gamers Outreach charity. So go ahead and order an exclusive Actman U2s because we're going to be shutting down pre-orders very soon and you'll never be able to order one again. They'll be all mine. I really do appreciate it, guys, so please consider ordering one. You are the best. So, Rockstar wanted Undead Nightmare to be a standalone expansion that players could jump into at any time. A great decision because, well, the tone doesn't exactly line up with the main game.
You take care of yourself. I'd hate to see you get savaged by someone and watch the life force drain from your hate-filled body.
Oh, no! You can't eat me!
By the way, if you missed my Red Dead Redemption video, be sure to check that out. While I'm plugging other things, you might as well follow me on Instagram for embarrassing photos, Twitter for memes. I will say that the game commits a cardinal sin, an unforgivable flaw that almost makes it a masterpiece, but not quite, and we'll discuss that flaw later on. Now, is Undead Nightmare really a quality zombies game? Is it worth going back to? Well, let's find out. Undead Nightmare is non-canon, as you would expect, but it does take place shortly after John kills Dutch and reconnects with his son, Jack, and wife, Abigail. The spookiness begins with John riding home on a dark, stormy night.
After months away, John Marston has returned to his loved ones while trying to rebuild his ranch and win back the trust of his family. Marston awaits whatever life will throw at him. He is a man who is ready for anything. Almost anything.
Now, Father's here. Maybe he can beat some sense into you.
Abigail, where's my goddamn belt? The fam relaxes at the fireplace, but John feels that something ain't quite right.
Damn dogs gone crazy and wolves howling and birds flying.
While John and Abigail are fast asleep, suddenly... Uncle?
You okay, old man? You don't look so good.
Boy, you got a lot uglier since the last time I saw you. Aw, screw this, I'm grabbing my gun. Unfortunately, Night of the Living Dead hadn't come out yet, so the whole family is entirely unaware of what zombies are and how they function.
Probably just a fever.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing weird going on. It's probably just a fever. It's just a little hot in the head. Nightmare carries a really self-aware tone. It's quite comical at times. It's not trying to be serious, unlike the main story. Listening to John try and reason with his family when we know what zombies are, it sets the tone perfectly.
Jack, Be kind to your mother. Abigail, teach the boy right from wrong. Both of you. Stop biting chunks out of people.
So John hogties the two and locks them in the house. And with that, the adventure begins. Time to track down a doctor and find out what the hell is going on.
Guess I best go find me a doctor in town.
Now your first question is likely, what's new in Undead Nightmare? What's different? And the answer is pretty much everything. Though the gameplay is basically the same, but with zombies, the world of New Austin has been totally overhauled. The maps, menus, loading screens, everything has ditched that red and black design you're used to in favor of this creepy yellowish greenish color palette. It really stands out, and I gotta say, Rockstar, I like the new drapes. All the wildlife has gotten a makeover to fit this new spooky atmosphere. Instead of crows and vultures, we get giant shrieking bats. Undead bears roam the land. Zombified cougars and jet black dogs. Spectral horses representing the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse can be found and tamed. Although sometimes these horses just flat out disappear and I have no idea why. They give you this shitty undead horse that just doesn't go the direction you want it to. Like, why would I ride that? But there is no honor system here, so feel free to shoot whoever you please, kill survivors and steal their ammo, or work alongside them. It's all up to you. New Austin has been transformed by the undead plague. Places you're familiar with like Blackwater and McFarland Ranch are in disarray. Barricades are set up, houses and barns burn through the night, and swarms of undead wander the open world looking for fresh meat. So the main goal is to eliminate the hordes and rescue the townsfolk of this godforsaken land. Many open world activities remain the same from the original. Some have been changed to fit the zombie theme, while others, like all of the minigames, have been completely cut out. Homie, we ain't got time to throw horseshoes, it's a fucking apocalypse. You'll encounter tons of NPCs fleeing the zombie horde and trying to survive. You also got side activities like Lost Souls, which replaces the previous bounty system as you track down folk who have gone missing and bring them back to safety. Rockstar really dived into the whole B-movie zombie angle. You'll love to see it. At times you'll come across a graveyard or a cemetery and you gotta burn all the coffins and kill all the zombies. It's the best. Though, like the original Red Dead, at a certain point I stopped doing the extracurricular activities for same reasons. The rewards just aren't rewarding enough. Money isn't used as a currency in Undead Nightmare. You can't buy ammo, weapons, new horses, or anything. So the only compensation you get is ammo and occasionally new weapons. Skinning animals has never felt more pointless. What am I gonna do with these resources? Just stare at them? It's kind of bizarre, and in my opinion, taking out the economy takes away from the gameplay. Everything you do is just for ammo. Looting corpses is also tedious, as half of them don't even contain any worthwhile items. Campsites have been removed entirely, so the only way to fast travel is by rescuing towns and creating those fast travel points, which is an interesting mechanic. The towns can get overrun as well, so sometimes you'll need to go back and clear the undead out once more. And you know, clearing out towns, it's fun after the 8th, the 9th, and maybe the 10th time, but after that there's a hard cutoff. It starts to get old, and some towns don't have any missions, and you never go anywhere near them, so why bother saving them? Undead Nightmare has 5 kinds of zombies. You got the bolters that skitter across the ground, tanky bruisers that will charge you down, retchers that spit toxic bile at you. Kinda sounds familiar, don't it? The regular infected, and mummies, which only appear in the final mission. But the gameplay is a nice change of pace from Red Dead's strict, realistic approach. It takes the solid shooting mechanics and replaces outlaws and hillbillies with zombies. Of course, you gotta aim for the head, and this makes Deadeye essential for survival. Overall, it's a pretty fucking solid zombie game with an amazing story, and with an awesome game comes an awesome soundtrack. And then the trumpets pick up. God damn, the soundtrack slaps. Instead of a twangy guitar between each mission, get this loud organ. Undead Nightmare is wacky, silly, and campy. It's the complete opposite of Red Dead Redemption, and that's why it's so refreshing. And it has all the things that made that game a masterpiece. amazing cutscenes with likable characters, a well-written narrative with hilarious moments, intense action complemented by an outstanding soundtrack. Yes, you should play Undead Nightmare at least once in your life. It's quite refreshing to see such a ridiculous take on a setting and game that devoted itself to realism. Like, there's one side quest where you run into a man hunting Sasquatch? Huh? Oh well, best to put down these elegant creatures.
Shoot me, human.
Aw,
Shoot me.
poor guy, he wants me to kill him.
Oh, I will, you foul creature of the night. You eat babies. You have to survive. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Ain't your fault.
We eat berries and mushrooms, you fool.
You eat babies.
John Marston is a man of impenetrable logic. This is honestly really sad. I have no idea why there's a fucking talking Bigfoot in this game. No matter. You shall have a clean death. Wait, what the fuck? Die, you baboon! But getting back to the story, John arrives at Blackwater to investigate, and we run into none other than Harold McDougal. Surely he has some idea of what's happening, being a Yale-educated doctor.
What is going on?
Well, sir, I am a man of science, a man of great learning, a thinker, a wise man, and I'll be honest with you, sir, I haven't got a fucking clue.
Well, ain't that dandy?
I fucking love this game. Well, ain't that dandy?
I'm going to wander down that lonely, deserted street and get my bag.
Why?
Wait, you should stay with me, Professor. You haven't got a gun.
Oh, no, it's okay. There's no need to worry. Everyone's already dead.
Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen. Rockstar embraces the campy vibe and executes it perfectly, clearly playing on and making fun of zombie horror tropes. Well, he's no longer helpful. Oh, hello, miss. What's that?
I saw my mama rip my daddy's face off and drink his blood.
Your mama ate your daddy? That's terrible.
And when my mama was dying, people said that he was lying with her sister, but that weren't true, mister, it weren't.
I didn't ask. So this fine lass tells us to burn the dead in the graveyard. So we unlock a new melee weapon and get to work. So we come back, clear the town again, and try to find answers as to why this is happening.
But it's the government's fault.
Yeah.
Ain't it always?
Well, they let in too many foreigners.
Maybe there's an explanation that doesn't involve blaming the Mexicans.
I blame the Mexicans. They haven't been struck down.
Damn it, Mexico!
I blame the Mexicans.
By far the best aspect of Undead Nightmare is seeing the same awesome cast of characters completely out of their element, in a new world. It answers the question like, how would these people in the Wild West react to the concept of zombies? What would they do? Nigel West Dickens, for example, is up to his usual tomfoolery, never shy of capitalizing on a crisis. He peddles another miracle cure, telling people it'll save them from the virus, but ironically, the elixir only attracts the undead.
I'm just trying to make an honest living here.
No, you're not.
Well, okay. Get rid of him, would you?
Why?
Well, because we're old friends.
No.
Landon Ricketts is another returning character who is completely unfazed by the zombie outbreak and dispatches them with ease.
Do you think I like shooting women? You filthy whoremongering wretch.
DeSanta, that piece of shit that betrayed us, is dead and rotting in the ground, but that's not gonna stop us from killing him again. Piece of shit! Bonnie McFarlane, as you'd expect, still has a crush on this hunk of man meat. And Seth, as a former grave robber and potential necrophiliac, well, he fits right in. Absurdly so. He's the only person the zombies don't immediately attack. In fact, he gets them to play the violin and dance around. Homie brought back his partner Moses to play cards with. And of course, Herbert Moon continues to blame all of life's troubles on
Fabians, socialists, homosexuals, Asians, or British. It was a good country once. Now people are eating each other, and it's all the fault of the Jewish, British, Catholic, homosexual elite and their ideas. The Jews killed Lincoln.
That's right, and the Australians killed Kennedy. I've been waiting a long time for an excuse to put a bullet in you, Herbert Moon. So you continue saving towns, burning graveyards, and helping out all the people you met before. Most of the missions are pretty fun until Nigel asks you to harvest some herbs for his tonic. It's a standard fetch quest mission, and it's really boring. Oh, what the fuck? They got ghosts too?
I'm glad you find laughs so funny. My pleasure.
No, wait, the cutscene is just glitched out.
So funny right now.
But in search for answers or some kind of cure, John Marston finds himself heading back to Mexico. Disguised as part of the army, he attempts a daring train ride with some fellas, but unfortunately...
Looks like there's been a change of plans.
You get this fucking awesome sequence on the train. Once the hordes are dealt with, we come across Mother Superior, a nun who asks us to cleanse the town of Las Hermanas and free her sisters from the undead curse. But after this, we arrive at my biggest and only complaint with Undead Nightmare. A design choice so ass backwards, I can't even wrap my head around it. So most people played this expansion after the original game, right? You've got 45 hours that have established to you, the player, that missions with letters are essential to progress the story. This is the case for every Rockstar game I can think of. So after you bring this zombie to the nun and she performs the holy water test, it says, "It will take some time for Mother Superior to compose her thoughts and research. Try visiting the other survivors until such a time that she is available to speak with you." Now, most normal people would interpret this as, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go out in the world and screw around for a couple hours and then this mission will be available. That's not how it works. None of these stranger side missions have been mandatory up until this point. That's why they're called side missions. But for some godforsaken reason, the only way to make the final mission appear is to do all the side missions. Well, then they're not side missions. And I wouldn't be so pissed if the game just explicitly said, yeah, you gotta do all this. I kept doing random shit for 4 or 5 hours waiting for this mission to appear. I thought my game was glitched. Turns out, in order to progress the main plot, you have to track down and capture a specific type of zombie and bring it back to this guy who wants to make his own film. Now that doesn't sound like too much until you've been running around butt fucking nowhere for 15 minutes and can't find a random zombie. Tell me what's exciting about this. So after 15 minutes, I find a retcher in the graveyard. Lasso him up, throw him on my horse. Finally, we're all good. Wait, what the fuck was that? He just died? Are you kidding me? I can't get one from a graveyard? I literally have to just find one in the open world. Why? This one mission that I want to skip is essential to progress the plot. After another 10 minutes, I finally catch another retcher and... No, stop running away. I'm so done with this. No! Oh, God damn it! Come back here, horse! No game should waste your time like this for no fucking reason. It's just an arbitrary extension of playtime. It feels cheap. It doesn't respect my intelligence. But after you're done with that bullshit, we go to see our old acquaintance, Abraham Reyes, and, well, wouldn't you guess, he's a zombie too. But the woman being attacked knows how to stop all this. Apparently, Jim Carrey broke into the world and stole the mask. So now it's time to return it to the crypts where it rightfully belongs and end this undead nightmare once and for all. There's one last battle with these zombie bastards. And after we return the mask, the lady disappears, implying she is more spirit than human. With the undead curse lifted, John Marston returns to his family, who have finally learned how to stop biting chunks out of people. And they all lived happily ever after. Oh shit! In conclusion, Undead Nightmare is just as competent as the game it expands upon. The comedy is refreshing and always on point. Rockstar was at their best when writing this. While relatively short, it's an awesome and spooky take on the Wild West. Aside from being forced to wait on that final mission, it's a masterpiece of DLC. $10 simply doesn't buy you this kind of entertainment from video games anymore. This will get you half of a skin in Overwatch 2. I know I didn't talk about multiplayer at all in these 2 Red Dead videos, but thinking about all the content this game has, it really makes Red Dead Redemption just a complete package. It's got everything you could possibly want and then some. Rockstar could have been lazy as hell, like they were with the GTA remakes. But they created a whole new style, a new soundtrack and story to an already incredible formula. They embraced the cliches of the zombie genre and poked fun at them. And that is why Undead Nightmare is so awesome. And what are your thoughts on Undead Nightmare? Did you like it more or less than the original game? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the Actman for more awesome content. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Actman signing out. Peace!